around me? A lot.
I'm almost positive about that one.
I bet.
Is it a test?
Eddie laughs the loudest. What does that tell you?
That he's a big homo.
Guilty as charged.
I'm meeting a new drag queen tonight, and that's Kevin Clevenger from Proclaim.
My drag name is Funda Razor.
Funda
That's cute.
How many times have you told that joke?
Just a few. But I've only done drag twice.
Oh.
And it was for charity, so...
Kevin is Instagramming with somebody from Finlandia.
What? Romania.
Oh, Romania.
Romania. Well, good evening, America, and welcome to It's Happening Out, the world's most popular live gay television talk show. You know what it is. It's 8 p.m., Wednesday, February 24. I'm your anchor, Al Ferguson, and let's start by meeting tonight's host. Get it right off the bat. First up, this is Power Infiniti, an original host of It's Happening Out. Power is a diva, he's a DJ, he is creator of Tampa Bay's largest talent contest, Queen of the Night. He is also a host of the television show Infiniti, T-E-A, on Facebook. And he is one of the great LGBTQ political liberal voices in America. Good evening, Power.
Good evening, Al, and good evening, children. I'm ready to get this show on the motherfucking road.
And you're going to be shipping off which branch of the service in a few minutes?
I'm doing my due diligence for the men and women in the military by making sure that they're all serviced.
Exactly. Next up, this is drag queen Carla Croqueta. She is hands down one of South Florida's funniest drag performers. Plus, she's a patron saint of Hialeah. Ooh, I love that. And the most Miami queen in all of the land, bro. Miami New Times appointed her ultimate Miami drag queen for both 2019 and they came back and did it again in 2020. She is currently hosting karaoke, among other things, Monday nights at the Hotel Gathering, a gay hotel in South Beach, and will be a guest panelist at Arch Center's Artist in Residence program coming up Friday, February 26th at 6 p.m. Welcome, Carla.
Hello, 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 everybody. It's such a pleasure to be on here today. Thank you so much for having me.
It's going to be fun. Next up, this is Faye. What? She's a radio host and has a popular YouTube channel. She is the anchor for Unity Coalition's new television show, UCTV, on Thursdays at 7 p.m. And she's also host of the new travel news show, Happening Out Travel, on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Faye, you sound like me.
I know.
Good evening, Faye.
Where do I find time to have sex and do my hair? I don't know. Hi, everyone. Happy to be here.
Excellent. And next up is Eddie Marti Kring. He is field and community organizer for Safeguarding American Values for Everyone. And did you just wave like a 14-year-old girl? I think that's what I saw. South Florida's longest serving LGBTQ rights advocacy organization. We always love him here. Welcome, Eddie.
Thank you, Al. Thanks for having me. Hi, everyone.
And next up, and I believe the first time It's Happening Out, is Kevin J. Clevenger. He's the former director of development for the Smart Ride. It's raised like $11 or $12 million, and former events and fundraising coordinator for the Pavarello Center, as well as a previous, and I'm going to ask him later what this title really was, tour manager for the United States Air Force, because Power wants to do that job tonight. And now, importantly, he's the executive director of Pride Fort Lauderdale, the oldest Pride celebration in the state of Florida. Good evening, Kevin.
Did you just call me old again?
I did call you old.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. And next up is Terry Dyer. He is the Director of Development for SunServe, one of the nation's most important 501c3 service organizations in the nation, serving LGBTQ health, trans, HIV, and other issues. Of Diaries to a Gay Black Boy. Love that title. His first book that provides an inspiring conversation with our community, giving us an authentic, raw, and emotional look into his life, and all motivated by homosexuality, race, family, and love. Good evening, Terry.
Hey, everyone. Thanks so much for having me, Al.
Well, good evening, America. We are the first and most popular live LGBTQ talk show in the world. We have so much to talk about. Next on It's Happening Out.
This week on It's Happening Out. Join us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. It all starts right now, live on It's Happening Out.
Well, we begin tonight with happening now breaking news. A big study has come out just this morning. The title headline is "Record Numbers Are More Young People Than Ever Identify as LGBTQ." The Gallup organization has just today released the largest study ever done on who and how we identify as LGBTQ. The study found 5.6% of the U.S. population identifies as LGBTQ+, up from 4.5% in 2017. The breakdown of L, the G, the B, the T, the Q is going to surprise you. Of those that identify as LGBTQ, 11% say they are trans, 12% identify as a lesbian. A gigantic surprise was just 25% of men identify as gay, while a jaw-dropping 55% identify as bisexual. Perhaps even more surprising is who identifies as LGBTQ. Of the entire American baby boomer U.S. population, people born between 1946 to 1964, only 2% say they are LGBTQ. In Gen X, 1965 to 1980, it's 4%. It doubles. Millennials in 1981 to 1996, it doubles again to 9%. And for Gen Zers born from 1997 to 2020, it nearly doubles again to 16% of the entire population. The entire U.S. population in that age group identifies as LGBTQ. What does this all mean? And how are these changes going to affect our business world, our politics, and what we think of as members of our community? What do y'all think about these numbers?
Wow.
I think they're very representative of, sorry. I think the numbers are very representative of the conversations that we as a queer community have been having for the last couple of decades. I think we have been trying to make a lot of representation for ourselves in politics, in media, in our communities. So I think that the younger generation is starting to feel a lot more comfortable to say, I am who I am, and you're going to accept it, whether you like it or not. And I think that it is very important that we accept and nurture these young queer people so that they can create policies in the future that are going to be beneficial for the entire queer community. So I think this is a product of what we've been working on. We've been fighting for equality. We've been fighting for equal representation, and we're slowly getting it.
Yeah. I think that you know, there is power in visibility. And the fact that we as a community have increased our visibility, it has really given a lot of people a lot more self-confidence and a lot more power to be able to come out and say who they are. Funny thing is, I don't doubt that bisexual number of 55%. I don't doubt it. But just to let our viewers know, a lot of boys that say they're bisexual, let's face it, are really
Girls
strictly
too.
dickly.
Girls too.
Yeah,
Girls too. I was bisexual for 4 months. I know. I remember.
Right. Let's keep it real. I'm not doubting the numbers, you know, because I know there are a lot. The spectrum is very broad, but you know, a lot of people talking about they bisexual, but honey, wouldn't touch a woman with a 10-foot pole. So I'm glad to see that that we're increasing. And I'll tell you what, if they do another study in a few more years, those numbers I would suspect are going to increase more as more people are comfortable in their own skin.
Let me provide some context again to the importance of these numbers. If the LGBTQ community grows because we're so hidden that the broader community doesn't measure us, representation matters. The initial comments about from Carla are absolutely true. This has dramatic effects on our politics. Who's after our vote? It has dramatic effects in our business. Who is advertising aimed at the LGBTQ community? How much money is being spent in our community? How much health care is being dedicated to our community? If people are hiding so well, this was the issue of the census in terms of don't ask if you're gay or you're LGBT, because if we come out in larger numbers, it has dramatic effects in every possible way on our community, in very positive ways, because our community grows.
That's right.
It's beautiful to see how far we've come. And look at the baby boomers. You said they were like 1% or something?
2%.
2%. That's incredible. That is really incredible. I mean, I took my own little poll, and I'm telling you, the Gen Zers around me are like all gay. All of them. They're like gender fluid. They're like whatever it is, it is. No one's going to put a label on me. I love who I love. I put my fingers on my stuff where I want.
Yeah, I don't know if you all have seen the movie Kinsey or read any of Alfred Kinsey's work, him and his wife, which revolutionized the field of sexual education as we knew it in America. But really, their whole theory is based on sexuality being fluid and not static or fixed. And just like you have in a normal distribution, most people are not in the extremes, where it was, I think, 0 was strictly heterosexual and 6 was strictly homosexual. Most people are not at the tail ends of that bell curve. They fall somewhere in the middle. And I think to underscore what you've all said, the more inclusive we become as a society, the more people feel comfortable being who they are, not having to identify as either gay or straight, I think we'll continue to find those numbers to increase.
Kevin, are you Gen Z or millennial?
I am a Gen X.
You're a Gen
I was
X.
born in 1971, and growing up, I didn't feel comfortable with myself, and there was not really a whole lot of icons or idols that I could look up to. And it wasn't until like when Ellen started coming out and when Will and Grace came out, I felt more comfortable with myself. And as I remember going to gay days back when it first started, way back in the early 90s, I was real hesitant on wearing that red shirt and being seen because I didn't want other straight people to identify me as that. But now I feel so much comfortable in my skin, and it's great to see how the world is coming around. And as you said, the politics and the advertising dollars, you could see that the sponsorships are going up and that there's marketing to the LGBT community. When I went to San Francisco last year, you could see during the month of June how many stores actually had, mainstream stores had LGBTQ merchandise.
And Eddie, you're which age group? You're
so I'm a millennial.
Millennial.
He's a 13-year-old girl.
Exactly.
I like to continue to represent for the gay men, since apparently our population is dwindling. So.
Yeah, right. No. It's my age group that is doing the worst. And Terry, does this news surprise you in any way?
It doesn't surprise me. I think where we are right now as a society, we continue to see more and more people come out, sort of identifying as to who they are. No one really cares anymore what we do behind closed doors. There's bigger things that we need to worry about in a society, bigger fights that we have to fight. So it's like, do you, be you, who cares? Let's figure out how to get Cheeto out of the administration. Let's figure out how to get over Black Lives Matters. Let's figure out how to move other things forward, not necessarily who you're sleeping with behind closed doors.
Well, as we move in, because we have lots of interesting topics that we're going to talk about, so let's move on. But one other note to all of you, I'm the only baby boomer on the panel, and only 2% of my age group, arguably greatest generation, in some respects, it's talked about in terms of baby boomers, identified that way. Only 2% of us identify as LGBT. How is that possible when we are learning that 16% of the current Gen Zers are identifying in LGBT? One of the
because y'all lied.
Exactly. That's exactly it. We lied. We didn't have the confidence to do it.
Of course.
My goodness, I feel sorry for 14% of us listening right now that couldn't do it. That's what this study demonstrates. There's lots of hurt in our community.
Al, I've always wondered, way before this study came out, I have always wondered this. And anybody else out there that's wondered this, raise your hand. But I've always wondered if everybody in the world were to be completely honest about their sexuality, what would that look like? What would those true numbers look like? And what power and how would we be able to change the world if everybody actually was honest about their sexuality?
This study brings that observation question to a dead stop. That's what we're going to start to unpeel in the next weeks and months, because that is the question. The LGBTQ population did not grow by 2% in the last 4 years. People became more honest in the last 4 years. Tito's, as much as they want it in vodka, is not putting something in their vodka to turn us gay. So it's an indication that there's something much more going on here. It's fascinating, really, really fascinating for our community. Let's move on, because we're going to be talking about this a lot in 2021, I'm sure. So, America, we remind you, you're watching a live, unedited LGBTQ talk show. So anything can happen. If you're on YouTube, make sure to subscribe and click the bell for updates. If you're on Facebook, like and share the video. Start a watch party. This is a perfect example. Where are you hearing conversations like the one we just had? Let's begin out of the top of the show to talk about our unique meme of the week. This week, in the Marvel universe, all the LGBTQ geeks lost their minds over WandaVision. The secret villain Agatha Harkness was revealed, and she is responsible for everything bad in the world. And there are hundreds of memes that prove it. So our meme is called Agatha Harkness Did It. Here it is.
I loved her in Bad Moms. She was amazing.
What do y'all think?
Incredible. I think this is brilliant.
I agreed. I really want to shake the hand of the people that come out with these things, because they're priceless.
Am I the only person not watching WandaVision?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
That's two of
I
us.
think you are.
Guilty
I'm not
pleasure.
even like a Marvel fan, so I can tell you just from a person watching the show, not knowing anything about anything related Marvel, it's a brilliant show. Yeah. Like, it is really, really well written to someone who is not involved in the world and doesn't know anything about the comics. I can watch and just be like, wow, this is a fantastically written show. I think it's brilliant, and I think the meme is hilarious.
Yeah, good. All right, we got to drink. We've got to get some drinks in. It's my favorite part of the show. Let's play our drinking game of yes or no called I'd Swallow That. We're going to invite you at home to play right along with us. Get something ready. If it's vodka, great. If it's water, great. Whatever in between. The vodka's even better sometimes, for me at least. As I ask our hosts 4 questions, if they agree, they're going to take a shot. We have them all right here in front of us right now. If they disagree, well, it's going to be a really long night for me. But let's play I'd Swallow That. If you agree, you take the shot. If you don't touch the shot. Everybody understand?
Ready.
Right.
Here we go. Question number 1. I'd swallow that. I agree with Fauci when he said politics led to the deaths of many in America because we made COVID mask use political. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Nope.
Ooh. Any thoughts about the politics?
Because our idiot ex-president made it political. You know, he wouldn't wear a mask, and then all his, what is it, Trumpansies that Power calls them, followed suit. And then it became a thing. Instead of it being something for our health, it was political. Of course.
Well, there's the same man that looked up into the sun during an eclipse. So
his track record speaks for itself.
Exactly. You can't really expect much from that gumbo.
Right.
I had forgotten that moment, and
absolutely
it's flooding back to me right now. Thank you for that share, because I'm loving that. Yeah, by the way, it's not just Trump. It's not the politics of what Fauci is talking about. He's talking about governors in states today. Right. Trump's gone, and if you're in South Dakota or you're in Iowa, they're telling you, no, don't wear a mask. It's not required.
Okay, but Al,
Florida.
I'm going to tell you something right now. The fish rots from the head. If Trump had come out and he had promoted mask use, all those ding-a-ling that follow him, including the governors, would have done the same thing. So yes, it's about Trump. I blame it on Trump. I blame everything on Trump.
You know, and by the way, America, I want you to tune in. Power and I have done, we're original for It's Happening Out. We've been doing it since September 20, 2019. Or is it 18? I don't know. A long time, 2.5 years. When you tune in February 2022, you'll be able to tune in and hear that exact same soundbite. Power will be sitting there going, Trump.
Trump sucks.
All right, let's move on. Question number 2. I'd swallow that. Snowstorms going on in the north. This last week, freezing in Texas. But I'm okay with winter. Everything's fine here.
It's warm in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not drinking to the bad. Listen, look at Power.
Everything's fine here, but we got to get some shit in check.
What's winter?
What do y'all think about what's going on with winter?
Well, in other places, I mean, here we're chilling. You know, I mean, it's 90 degrees here. I wear a tank top everywhere I go. I don't know what you're talking about. You know,
I'm surprised Ted Cruz didn't get on a plane and come to Miami. Why did he go to Cancun?
Haven't we suffered enough with Trump? Don't send him here. Come on.
I was very concerned with what happened in Texas last week because my mother lives in Texas. And by the grace of God, and I do mean by the grace of God, she was one of the few that her power never went out. She did suffer a broken pipe, but she had neighbors that just happened to be plumbers, and they fixed her pipe for her free of charge. So she was spared all the headache and drama that other people went through, but people died because of the incompetency and the lack of leadership in Texas. And I feel very saddened by it. It's, we're doing fine here in Florida, but we really have to feel for people in other places.
Yeah. And people getting a $16,000 electric bill because their power stayed on. That's ridiculous.
Okay.
Right.
Why are they not going to be held accountable either? The whole board of that electric collective resigned because none of them really are Texans. They don't even live in Texas.
The reliability.
Ted Cruz, that ridiculous governor, trying to blame wind turbines. So we went down because of wind turbine. It was ridiculous. But Texas is not going to hold these people accountable. I don't understand.
I think if they don't hold them accountable, then it's going to be another cold winter. Unfortunately, people will continue to suffer, and this highlights the importance of having competent leadership.
Yeah.
And when you don't, people die.
Yeah. And reminder for us, we have DeSantis and Marco Rubio and Rick Scott. We don't hold them responsible either. So it's not just the Texans.
No. The one thing that was really great about that was the Democrats that stepped up, AOC raising over $5,000.
$5 million.
$5 million for Texas. And, she's down there serving up, and Beto O'Rourke doing door checks on seniors. And so it's great to see the Democrats really stepping up in this time of need.
Absolutely. All right. Well, let's move on. Question number 3. I'd swallow that. MI6. The super secret CIA-like spy organization in Britain. MI6 has lifted the ban on gay spies. And I think a host at It's Happening Out would make a great spy.
Oh, I could see Faye as a spy.
Sign me up.
Y'all think they would? Faye, you don't think so? Did you take it?
I'm still thinking about it.
Who would make a great spy?
Faye would look great in a leather trench coat.
Leather trench coat.
Any drag queen, no one would think they're a spy.
Very true.
I just came here for the party. That's right.
I'm here for the party.
I just came here for the party, honey.
Croqueta would be a great spy. Look at her. She would be a great spy.
No, actually, my drag and Croqueta's drag are not the type of drag that you need for spy. We stand out too much. But, you know, dressed down, I would be willing to do it because, you know, I love undercover work. And when I say undercover, I mean undercover.
You mean you
with that hat on, right?
covers. Please allow me to translate what Power has just told America. He will do anything for his country. That's what he just told us.
So
service and protect.
Anything. Even get down on bed.
Anything. All right, let's move on. Question number 4. Nobody, by the way, nobody thought I was going to be a good spy. Maybe I am.
You're too popular, Al.
Yeah.
You're too
Question number 4. I'd swallow that. Because of COVID-19, I think Pride Month, which is in June, is going to be virtual again. No, Power? You don't think so?
I don't know, honey. Our Pride here in Tampa doesn't seem like it's going to be virtual again. We're set to have Pride and do Pride in the streets. So I don't know. I think around the country there might be some Pride still going on.
Yeah. Anybody watch the video of what went on in Wilton Manors over the weekend?
No, what
I'm
happened?
not even going to say the club, but
You know
it
which
was
one it is.
unbelievable.
Right? I was like, you know which one it is.
Do we all know this already?
The club in Wilton Manors.
So what happened? Please, Al, you're saying, did you see what was it? Just a lot of people, not masked?
Great music.
Great music, great DJ,
Most
beautiful
importantly.
people.
I was jealous. The music was so good. Yeah.
People are dying to go.
I tuned in. I went, wait, is
Literally.
Power working there? Because
No, ma'am.
no,
That is
I-
so irresponsible.
That was Kitty, not me.
yeah.
I'm calling everybody's name, bitch. I don't like that.
So you say a name of a club in Wilton Manors, and you'd say your best friend's name.
That's right.
How it rolls.
All right. Well, so in general, do you think we're going to see a great Pride Month, or we're
I
not
think it's
gonna
going to be
see
great regardless, Al, but I think that most of it will be virtually. You know, Biden said that everybody will have access to a vaccine by July, right? But so June is right there at the end of that. I just don't see this. I don't see the prides that are respected doing something in person. I don't. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm wrong a lot.
And you see,
I don't see
some
it. I
prides
don't see it
pushing
for New
back.
York for sure. I don't see it for New York
I
for
think,
sure.
unfortunately, I drink because I would hope that they would all be virtual, but I think that I have to spit my drink back out
Yeah.
because it might be. I think
Yeah.
that a lot of people, listen, I work in drag and I work in this scene and I see how people are treating this. And it's just, I've gone down to only 2 nights a week because other nights that I was working at other venues were not, you know, treating it as seriously and telling me, oh, you don't have to wear a mask. It's okay. Or, you know, if you were near someone who tested positive, it's fine. Just wear your mask at work today. And
What?
that's not really what the CDC recommends. And it's not really, you know, how we should be handling these things.
Yeah.
So
we have to say,
unfortunately, there are people in power that are able to make decisions that do not favor the general public health, but it does favor the bottom line, which is what's most important. And at the end of the day, I'm not trying to be a hypocrite. I am working 2 nights a week in drag. So I'm telling people to come out to my events, but I make $125 a week off unemployment. If I didn't work, I wouldn't be able to live, you know? So it's a catch-22. And I understand and I feel for people, but Pride, I think we could really step back, scale back, but I don't think
we have an obligation certainly to say at Queer News Tonight, we broadcast the news every night at 7 o'clock. We have an obligation to say, we know you make your own individual choices in this environment, but please embrace wearing a mask, embrace the procedures that keep you as safe as possible. It does not say in absolutist way, but as safe as possible. And certainly wearing a mask is a part of that.
And can we say that a lot of the places that we go to are being responsible? Let's please take note of that, okay? I go to Hunters all the time. They're on point with everything that they do. The Palace on Miami Beach is on point with everything they do. You go to our house, they are on point. They're, you know, everything is legit. So please understand that there are places that are doing things safely, and go support them.
Yeah. All right. Let's move out of our game, I'd swallow that. Next, let's catch up with the news from Hollywood and the world of entertainment. We call it our celebrity hot topic of the week. This week, Disney Plus had an interesting announcement. They launched that they were going to place the Muppets on their platform, all the shows. but 18 of the episodes have a content warning that draws attention to viewers that there is inappropriate content included in the show. The warning is crystal clear. It's interesting. Disney made the point that instead of cancel culture, keeping the show with this specific warning would spark needed conversation that was more valuable than hiding it away. So our entertainment hot topic tonight is Disney warns viewers that, and this is the exact phrase in their warning, the Muppets was wrong then and wrong now. What do y'all think?
Come on. I mean, this is genius at the minds of Disney Plus. Those big wigs are freaking genius. Think about it. We're not even going to take all the content out. We're just going to put a disclaimer, not even say sorry, and we're going to put all all those episodes out there. It's genius. What's next? Archie Bunker with a disclaimer beforehand too? I mean, come on.
And that was made during the same time. The Muppets came out in the 70s. And it was just like HBO Max when they said that they were going to pull Gone with the Wind from their streaming platform. It's just one of those controversial things. I love the Muppets.
Yeah.
I think the Muppets are fantastic. And the Muppets have always been very controversial then and now. So I think, you know, some of these shows are made on purpose as political satire and as a way to spark conversations that are otherwise controversial. And I think that there is a line that we have to draw into where, you know, certain things can be inherently wrong and bad and negative, you know, in representation, but there are also things that just strike conversation. And I think the Muppets is and always has been one of those things. I think it's brilliant.
In context, let me give you one of the examples. One of the 18 episodes has a singing number where they're standing in front of a Confederate flag.
With Johnny Cash.
Now, why you don't even understand? I don't know why they were doing that. But Disney Plus's observation is the explanation of that Confederate flag in the scene and why it is inappropriate. They explain why the flag is hurtful and a representation of pain for large segments of the American population, which is why they provide the warning. That's super interesting, isn't it? That they don't pull it away, they tell you why it was wrong.
I think it's so incredibly impactful, actually. It'll help sort of move the needle forward in our society by, again, sparking these important dialogues. So agreed with Faye. Completely brilliant.
I must not have been paying attention to the Muppets as a child very, very closely because I didn't really catch all these things. But then again, you know, when we were younger, a lot of the things that we are woke to now, we weren't woke to then. Like, for example, the Confederate flag. We used to watch Dukes of Hazzard all the time. It never once struck me that was something that was offensive to me as a black man, you know? So there's a lot of things that there's a lot of things that we can look back at now in hindsight and say, oh, you know, that wasn't so good. But I'm glad that they're doing this. And I think shows, for example, like All in the Family, like The Jeffersons, shows like that, you can't discard them. They were funny. They made a positive impact in our world, regardless of their, you know, of the fact that they were, you know, offensive. And you can't discard them. They're art. But to be able to explain them and to be able to put a warning and to put a label like this on them and then present them in their true artistic authenticity, I think is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I think that's a great closing observation to what we are talking about here that Disney Plus has done. It sounds like we all congratulate Disney for the decision that they have made. That's our discussion.
Good thing I thought of it.
Yeah, that's our discussion on entertainment tonight. Next, we report that Happening Out Television Network helps support our LGBTQ community various different ways. An example is Sunshine Cathedral. This is the world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale, and we're all broadcasting from this location. We're broadcasting from a permanent set in supporting that partnership. The network broadcasts the largest LGBTQ religious broadcast in the world, with more than 30,000 watching every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern, and it's totally live. We encourage you to tune in. Our campaign of sponsorship proudly supports Sunshine Cathedral is my queer church. Watch this.
This is Mo Laredo, local law enforcement in South Florida, and Sunshine Cathedral is my queer church.
Well, we'd also like to thank our set designer, Concepto Modern Living here in Fort Lauderdale, for making this set in this amazing queer campus possible. And finally, as sponsors, we thank our It's Happening Out hotel sponsor, Best Western I-95 in Fort Lauderdale. This is the closest and best choice to the famous Wilton Drive and our host and guest stay at this LGBTQ allied partner. We encourage you to stay here when visiting in South Florida. Well, next at It's Happening Out, we like to bring the attention of the LGBTQ community to the best thing of the week. People, business, and even cities put up signs, but frequently forget to have a proofreader. And we have an interesting collection of the best thing of the week called These Are Real Life Signs, and They Give Me Life. We're going to show them to you. These are signs around the country. We apparently have an education problem going on in America.
You see, that's why minimum wage needs to be $15. That's why, you see.
Ride pickles.
Ride pickles. That's my favorite. Sorry for the inconvenience, but right now we is out of ham.
We's out of ham.
Sometimes you can't fit it. You only have
And
one
the
per
bucket.
character.
Let's have a bucket.
Bucket.
Just bucket.
Bucket.
donut.
Just bucket.
donut.
Oh yeah, my type of donut.
Wow. Come in.
Man.
Oh,
All right. Any thoughts of signs? We've all seen these kind of signs, haven't we?
Oh, those
They're
poor
hilarious.
employees.
They're
You know they
everywhere
were
I
fired
go.
after that, right? They must have been fired after that. Poor kids.
There
It
are
wasn't
no
on purpose.
proofreaders.
No, they
in
got a
America.
promotion.
No, right. I don't know about being fired. I think they're still there.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah. All right. Well, certainly best thing of the week. It makes us laugh. Let's move on to what we call in our segment, What's on Your Mind. Each host is getting ready to tell us in this week what is on their mind, either something that's happened or something that is coming up. But it's important to remember it's going to be just in 30 seconds, because at the end of 30 seconds, you're going to hear this bell, which means we ask them to stop. And so let's start. Power Infiniti, what's on your mind this week?
Well, what's on my mind is a little bit of advice for a hotel in South Beach, the W Hotel. If you're trying to celebrate Black History Month, I don't think it's a good idea to put on your menu fried chicken and watermelon. Now, you know, they have offered an apology for this, but it really, it really wasn't the right thing to do. So don't do that.
Power, I'm just a quick question about it. I heard about this just today. This wasn't a joke. This was them really trying to embrace Black History Month. Is that really true? Do you know?
Yes, and the gag is that, before this menu went out, you have to imagine that there had to have been other people that saw it, proofread it, and signed off on it. So, I mean, at what point, you mean to tell me nobody looked at this and said, I don't think this is right?
Yeah.
Nobody? Fried chicken and watermelon beef.
This is different than
Pandering, baby.
yeah, this is different than an incorrect sign. Likely someone did lose their job over this one then. Carla Croqueta, what's on your mind this week?
Croquetas are always on my mind. I would have to say I have a lot of creativity on my mind lately. My creative juices have been flowing. I just started a new weekly cabaret style brunch at Sweet Liberty on South Beach. Shameless plug. So that's been on my mind. That's what I was doing all day today. I've been working on creating new acts and hiring amazing artists to bring amazing talent right back to South Beach.
Yeah, very nice. I remind a lot of people, if you haven't been to Cuba, the most desirable appetizer is a croqueta. So literally, this is Carla stuffed fried bread. Faye, what's on your mind this week?
You know what's on my mind? Live performances, theater, Broadway. That's what's on my mind. God, I miss it so much. I am so gay. Like yesterday, we did something, me and Terry actually did something with the Florida Grand Opera, and they did a live performance for us of an opera, and you know, and a couple of segments of an opera, and it was amazing. And it brought me to tears because I miss Broadway, I miss musicals, I miss all of that. I can't wait till that comes back.
It's coming back for sure. And Eddie, Marty Kring, what's on your mind this week?
All right, so we've all been talking about how more and more people are identifying as queer or trans and just coming out when they're younger. And what's on my mind is that there's about 14 states currently that are drafting legislation that singles out and targets transgender kids from being able to play sports in high school, middle school, or even universities. And they're even trying to find doctors who, with parental consent, are providing medically necessary services to our transgender youth. And we have phone banks, and we need your help to stop these harmful legislations. So plug in save.lgbt/action. I need you to join me to help stop these folks from attacking our kids.
Reach out to one of the most important advocacy organizations in the country, and that is SAVE. Thank you very much. And Kevin J. Clevenger, what's on your mind this week?
So as you know, the start of spring break has begun, and watching the news today, it's going to find very interesting how Miami is able to police all the spring breakers. They've reduced you can't have coolers, you can't have tents. So it's going to be great to see them actually try to police this, and I'm hoping that Fort Lauderdale will follow suit, because we are destinations right now. With flights so cheap from New York, you could come down here for $50 and party your butt off and then go back. And so is COVID going to be a super spreader for spring break down here?
Yeah, it's very sobering what's on your mind. And Terry Dyer, what's on your mind this week?
What is on my mind? I am going to shamelessly plug the Florida AIDS Walk. The Florida AIDS Walk is one of the largest events every year for many cities across the country. And we at SunServe have several events coming up. Faye, what? We're bringing you some live performances. Sunday, March 14th at Hunter's, we're doing a gospel brunch. Come and get your spirit uplifted. Also, March 11th at Johnson's, SunServe Strips. Join us then too. Yeah. Help us raise those funds for Florida AIDS Walk.
You can tell a lot of our hosts here tonight are revenue-driven, financial, help fund organization people, which we absolutely love. And we also have to get in the AIDS Walk that is coming up. You want to participate. SunServe is one of the principal organizations that benefit. And we do a shout out to AHF, because AHF is basically doing buy one, get one free. Every dollar you contribute to organizations like Terry at SunServe, AHF matches your donation. It is free money as one of the best LGBTQ supporters in America, and we thank AHF for what they are doing. Next, you've heard what's on our host mind this week. Next, if we were standing around an LGBTQ water cooler full of Tito's or Grey Goose, I might add, up next would be what we are all talking about. We refer to it as Hot Topic of the Week, and this is a strange one. Boomerang Campground brings LGBTQ America to a pause, scratching our heads this week. The owner of the Michigan Gay Campground, currently closed for the winter, clarified its private membership status for the spring and summer when it reopens. He wrote on the camp's Facebook page this week, "Boomerang is a private club and only accepts men." Okay, there are many places like that. But he went a step further to, like the Republican National Platform, very publicly define gender. He said to come to Boomerang, you must be presenting as male. Then he added that meant you had to have a penis. And finally, the judge and jury would be the dreaded transphobic standard of presenting your state-issued ID as the final decider of your gender. So let's go camping into the woods in hot topics called lions and tigers and bears. Oh my! And make sure you have a penis. What do y'all think about what Boomerang said this week?
So do you have to show your ID and your penis at the door?
Yeah, that's
how that works?
So who gets
Because I remember trying to go to one of the bathhouses, and that's basically what they asked me to do. And, I had to walk my Latina ass right out of there.
Yeah.
So
Did you really?
I did. What? Why are you so freaking surprised? It's me. Of course I wanted to go to a bathhouse. Be with a bunch of homos more. Yeah, that's me.
Let's do coffee. let's leave
Well,
the
first off,
bathhouse
this
for
story this week proves that not just the straight people at the W Hotel in South Florida can be really stupid in terms of some of the things that they do.
Oh, I'm on the fence with
We
this
live
one.
in America.
Yeah, me too. It does raise a question if there is a particular space, whether it's for, like, let's say, I don't know, lesbians only or gay men only, or whether it does raise the question of who feels comfortable going into what space. I mean, I'm not a lesbian, and I would not want. Well,
you're real close. I'll tell you that.
Isn't my haircut?
A 13-year-old lesbian girl.
No, it's the way you cock your head to the left.
It's the way you do this.
So yeah, if I probably wouldn't want to go or feel very included in an all-female event, and so I would stay away.
They have the right to do this, by the way. This is not a legal issue. As a private membership club, they absolutely can do this.
Okay, well, I mean, and that was just the confirmation I needed. I really, whether you agree or like it or you don't like it, I side with their right to do it. You don't have to like it, you don't have to agree with it, but it's their right to do it. And you said something at the beginning. You said something. You said, well, they're kind of defining what male is. They're not defining what a male is for everybody. Their definition of what a male is does not affect anybody else's rights or anybody's right to happiness or liberty or the pursuit of anything other than wanting to go into their private space. And though I might not think that it's the best idea, I don't actually think it's the best idea, I do agree with their right to dictate who comes in to their private business, So to me, it's really not
I'm
something
curious,
I would
Power, because I'm not sure it would meet the same legal standards. So I say that up front. I don't know that for sure, so I don't want to crawl out on that limb. But I'm just curious for you, if Boomerang said, well, you can't be black, would you feel the same way if they intended to try to do the same thing? No, I'm serious. Would it be the same standard? Because maybe it is. I've heard, I'm not sure this is true, but I've heard that the organization surrounding Augusta and the golf club that puts on Augusta had specific restrictions on race, and that they could get away with it because they were a private membership club.
Okay, well, and here's the thing. If Boomerang said that they didn't want black people in there, I would do everything I could to make sure that their business suffered. That being the case, they would still have a right, if they're a private entity and a private business, to say what they want. And I don't have to go there, and my friends don't have to go there. If other racist and racist supporting people want to go there and give them business, that's their decision. I can't stop anybody. I can't beat up anybody from going in there. And frankly, away from that extreme, let's use the bathhouse as an example. Right. Faye said she tried to go up into a bathhouse. I have been very public with the fact that I have been a bathhouse Betty. Yes, I have been. I said it right now.
Not a regular.
And I've been a bathhouse Betty. And to tell you the truth, if I was up in a bathhouse getting my dick on, having dick down my throat, and a woman walked up in there, it's her or me. I got to go. I can't.
Why?
No,
but why? Well, why would that bother you? Would that make you go limp? Like, what's the deal? Like, I'm not bothering you. I'm not trying to be in the middle of yours.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Let me tell you.
I'm walking by. I'm walking by, loving what I see.
Or she's watching.
Wait, let Power finish. I want to hear this.
You asked me a question. Let me answer the question. Because a bathhouse is the one place
some of us gay men can go
where people like myself who is a popular club personality can have some type of anonymity. B, we can be around men and men only. It's the one place we can shut out the rest of the world and do what we want to do in that privacy. A woman walks up in there, for me, I'm not speaking for everybody else, I'm just saying for me, a woman walks up in there, it's like, okay, this has become now a place for men and women. It's not a place to cruise men and just men alone. I just don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable.
So close your eyes. I don't understand.
But let me tell you something. Can I say something? I have also been a little Betty of the bathhouse too, my friend. I don't fit everybody's preference type because I am fat and I am hairy. So if you don't like me at the bathhouse just because I have a dick, you're still not going to have sex with me. So if a woman walks by, you're just not going to have sex with her. I think these places need to be a lot more inclusive in the fact that gender, sexuality, all of those things live on a spectrum. And if I went to a bathhouse that was inclusive of everyone, trans men, trans women, straight women, I don't care who, I think it would be a lot more fun for me and everyone else involved. If we left this preconceived heteronormative bullshit at the door and all just came in to have a good time, honey, it would be just that.
No, then what they need to do, then is build a type of bathhouse for y'all.
I'm just gonna say that.
Build a
bathhouse
for Coquetta and build a bathhouse for Faye, so y'all can party together.
We be in there.
The bathhouse I'm gonna go to is strictly motherfucking Dickley. I'm gonna tell y'all right now.
I think that soundbite brings this topic to a conclusion. Let me tell you, I just want to get a plug in for them because I love the place and I've always been a supporter. That happened 10 years ago. Sawmill, the largest LGBT gay campground in America, I helped organize. I was one of the participants. George Cressman, who became the first president, a group of us organized the first gay co-op in America, Sawmill Campground, largest gay campground in America. Over the weekend for Mardi Gras, they probably had 2,000 people there for the weekend. Right from the very beginning, everybody said, oh, we're overwhelmingly 98% guys. We want. Powers observation was the observation 10 years ago. But right from the very beginning, Sawmill said, guys, don't harm the girls, and let's create specific carved out weekends for the girls. And 3 weekends for girls were created every single year. And Sawmill said, guys, please stay out of their way because they don't want you in their business either. And it worked right from the very beginning. Now, it was kind of a separatist thing, but it worked and everybody was happy with it. And to this day, in 2021, there are girls' weekends, and then there are bear weekends, and there are leather weekends, and there are to try to make everyone comfortable in visiting Sawmill. And it works. Congratulations to the best gay campground in America, Sawmill Campground. And I just make that point in contrast to Boomerang. You probably need to at least work on your public relations. Saying that. All right, let's move out of our hot topic and talk about some silly and important, both, headlines in the news this week. We discussed them in a segment we call Saved by the Bell. But there's a twist. We are only going to discuss each one of these headline topics for 1 minute. And at the end of the 1 minute, again, you're going to hear this bell. And that means stop and we're moving on. Everybody understand what we're getting ready to do? Here we go. First up, this week something unique happened that caught It's Happening Out's attention. It really says everything about the Trump brand and where the Donald is today. Saved by the Bell headline number 1, Trump, Atlantic City. It collapses. The symbol of Trump worldwide, right before your very eyes. What did y'all think about what happened in Atlantic City?
Loved it. And did you see all the spectators? There were so many people out there, all socially distanced, enjoying the view. Like, bye-bye Trump with signs and everything. I thought it was awesome.
It imploded like his presidency.
So I'm feeling some foreshadowing here a little bit.
I'm hopeful that it's symbolic for his entire family and life and business. People like him should really not be allowed to participate in public policies or anything to do with how people are protected.
You know, somebody offered $400,000 to push the button.
Nice.
We have been for a week working in exhaustive investigative news journalism, investigation of finding out who it was, and we have found out it was Power Infiniti.
Oh, wow.
History was made this week as the Mars rover recorded the first sounds ever from another planet. We couldn't help but wonder what it sounded like on Mars. It's been a yearning through all human existence, sound on another planet. We got our answer this week. Saved by the Bell, headline 2. Let's go to NASA right now, live in Houston. They're doing this 24 hours a day, and listen to what Mission Control found out as the very first sounds of Mars, from Mars. Listen carefully to these live sounds that NASA is listening to right now. Play that. Let's listen.
Good luck. And don't fuck it up.
Had it officially.
Yeah, bitch.
Wait, we're in NASA?
Get those nuts away from my face.
Dude, you should not be here.
Your tone seems very pointed right now.
At least I am a showgirl, bitch. Go back to Party City where you belong.
What's going on Mars?
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Hi. Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Mission Control?
Hi.
Hi.
That's fine. I don't have to be your friend. I don't have to be your friend to win this show. This is not RuPaul's best friend race.
Good luck.
Oh my God! Of course. Ru is everywhere.
Wow.
Of course, that's happening.
Mama Ru.
That was a lot better than actually the real live recording.
That's coming from Power. Okay.
Did any of y'all see that? On CNN in the morning, they played the actual live sound, and they were like, "Oh, you're not gonna believe this! The live sound. We're about to play it." And then they played it, and there was like 10 seconds of nothing. And like,
what did it sound like?
Didn't you hear that? Didn't you hear that wind? Bitch, please.
You're telling me that the sound on Mars was like a silent fart? That's what it was?
It was.
Well, the RuPaul empire is now not only America, not only Canada, not only Europe or Australia, and around the world is intergalactic. Congratulations, RuPaul. And Power is the one that did the read, by the way. Michelle, Power did the read. All right, Apple has introduced 217 new emojis this week for its iOS system. Many of them will make the LGBTQ community very happy as Apple embraces expanded colors for couples, gender identity, and more. Saved by the Bell headline 3. New Apple emojis to include interracial gay couples and a bearded lady.
Look, it's croqueta.
What do you
How cool is that? That's so cool. You better be getting that money, girl.
What do y'all
think? Right, girl, they better run me my check.
Does anybody care about emojis? I'm curious.
Yeah. No. I'm highly upset about it. I have a Samsung Android and I don't get these things, so I'm very upset with this.
Oh.
What about the stoner one with the eyes?
Is that what that is?
Uh-huh.
What I love is the
I
different.
think he looks like he's on G.
He's in a G hole.
I think that's what the point was.
It looks like Jesus.
I love the different shades of brown, right?
Yes.
Like, okay, which one are you?
Yeah.
I love that. Like, that's badass. I think these are great. 220 new ones.
That's
Is
a
this
lot.
representation
That's a
or
lot.
tokenism?
Love it, right?
No, man, it's
Great point.
visibility.
Great
There's
question.
more of us. No, representation. Yeah.
Okay, all right. We'll dodge that question.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
I still use my yellow emoji.
A Baptist church north of Atlanta is being expelled from the Southern Baptist Convention. Additionally, 30% of the congregation left the church over what the pastor decided to do. Saved by the Bell, headline 4. A Baptist church will be expelled for welcoming a gay couple to their services. What do y'all think about that?
Sounds like a church I'd like to join. Maybe they can start their own denomination and get more people.
That's just ridiculous. Wow. Like, so what happens? That they lose the backing now? They're not part of the circuit of Baptist church?
SBC in Nashville actually commented on that and said, We're taking into account that Metro Cobb County really doesn't want one of their churches have gay people in it. That's what they said. Wow.
Yeah, they're cut off from their denomination. I think it's sad, very sad. I don't agree with it, but I do understand. And before our viewers get upset, there is a difference between understanding and disagreeing. I don't agree with it. I think it's totally sad. But being that I come from a religious background, I understand the feelings of the Baptist denomination, because it's just not something that they believe in. And the thing about faith is you just cannot argue with when it comes to people's faith, because faith is so ingrained. People will actually die for their faith. So it's a shame that this has to happen.
All right. Well, LGBTQ social media melted down this week as South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham talked about the border wall. After last year's skirmish with Washington, D.C. rent boys, his words were going to haunt him. You knew they were. And they haunt him in a hilarious new joke. Saved by the Bell 5. Lady G demands someone to plug this hole. Watch this.
The Biden administration apparently has decided to stop plugging this hole here.
All right, what do y'all think?
About time that he addressed whatever is really impacting him.
Right. Lady G and plugging that hole.
I think we've all known that this has been an issue for him for years, and finally he's publicly addressing his needs. I think we should support him.
He's being authentic.
Yeah, that is quite a big hole.
We can't deny that, right?
I don't see why he's talking about the Biden administration to help him plug his hole. Why doesn't he just hire some more of the boys that he hired before?
Exactly. Exactly. Are we outing him in any way? I know he's been outed many, many times, but are we even talking about this? Do you feel a little dirty that we're kind of outing him?
He's used to it.
Is this out shaming?
Not at all.
No. Right. No, we don't feel any kind of way, because when somebody actually works against our community, I don't feel bad to out them because, they're being hypocritical.
Correct.
Yeah. I don't think it's outing, it's holding him accountable.
Yes.
That's right.
All right. Very good. All right. Well, we're the LGBTQ community. So what does that mean? Oh yeah. I almost
We're going to have sex.
Let's talk about sex and relationships. Let's play another game. Our game asks, who would you do? Kevin, we're getting ready to ask. Why you do it? Terry, we're getting ready to ask that too. And what would you do to 3 different people? Yeah, Faye, we're going to ask you that too. Tonight, our game is Shag, Marry, Chop, and our theme is gay porn. Well, the Pornhub just hosted their awards show for adult gay film, stars, scenes, studios, and more. So this week we're going to play with gay adult porn stars. The first being Austin Wolf, and then Ziv Goodell, and last but not certainly least, D'Angelo Jackson. So let's play Shag, Marry, Chop. And Power, let's start with you.
Oh boy.
They all 3 are just beautiful.
I'm hungry.
First off.
Wow.
Power, did we lose you?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Now we can, yes. Go ahead.
Okay.
Who was your shag?
Yeah, this is a hard one for me. I am probably gonna shag Ziv Goodell. I'm loving his tattoos, and he looks like a badass. So I'm gonna shag him. But I'm gonna, like a whore, I'm gonna sneak off after I shag him and D'Angelo Jackson as well. I am definitely gonna marry Austin Wolf because he likes to choke, slap, and beat a bitch. And that's what I'm all about. So, yeah, so he can slap me around and call me Susan every day of our marriage.
All right.
And nobody gets to chop tonight.
No. So Ziv, Mr. Goodell is being chopped.
No, he's not. I mean, if I had to,
You can't be that greedy of a bitch. No. All right. We got that joke. All right, Carla Croqueta, who are you going to shag?
Ooh, I'm gonna have to agree with you on this one because that Zilf Goodell, he's looking real good over there. Plus, he's the only one who kind of looks like a bottom. I've never seen any of their work, but I'm just gonna assume he's a bottom. And that looks delicious. I'm gonna marry D'Angelo Jackson because he looks like he likes to eat and I like to cook.
And Austin is gone, huh?
Bye.
Bye.
All right, and Faye, what? Let's go to the girl at the table. Who are you going to shag?
Okay, I'm going to shag Austin Wolf. Oh, what a shag him. Yeah, with that. He just
did that for 4 months. You've moved on, by the way.
But it was 4 good months. I got in a bunch of dudes. Don't get it twisted, all right? I'm sorry. Don't be mad you weren't one of them, you know? I mean, come on.
That was a busy time of the year.
It was spring break, bitches. You don't know. Anyway, I'm going to marry D'Angelo Jackson. I mean, look at him. Wow. Because, I mean, also in marriage, right? People have sex. So, yeah. Wow. Yum. And I'm going to chop Zilf.
Yeah.
I can't say his name, so, I mean,
yeah.
That's enough.
All right. And Eddie, who are you going to shag?
So I would shag Zilf. Is that how you pronounce that?
I believe it is. Goodell.
Okay, I'll just call him Baby the whole time.
Baby.
And I think for Mary, I'd go for D'Angelo. I actually met him at, Orlando for Pride, Gay Pride.
And did you do this?
I didn't, but I wish I had. And I have an autographed magazine of his, which I keep for evening time reading after a long day. I just like unwind. So I just feel like marrying him would make sense since we've had so many evenings together thus far.
Yeah.
And then I think I'd have to chop Austin Wolf because he looks like he's just gonna break me, throw me across something, and I'm not ready for that. I'm gonna leave that for Faye.
Yeah.
Bitch, leave it for me.
Yeah, very good. All right. Oh, and Eddie, that reminds me. After the show, ask me for D'Angelo's phone number, and I'll give it to you.
Oh, great, thanks.
And Kevin J. Clevenger, who would you shag?
Oh, it's kind of tough because not one of them has any hair, and as a bear myself, but that D'Angelo, he has multi-purpose because you could do laundry on those abs. So I would marry D'Angelo. Zilf, yeah, I would shag him, and Austin, he'd have to chop because he looks like he might take my wallet.
Something.
Wait, all right. Ooh, my sinuses.
I'm sweaty.
And Terry Dyer, tell us who you would shag.
Why do I have to go after that statement? Oh my goodness. Well, I'm just going to get this right off you said shag first?
Shag.
I am definitely going to shag Zilv. Yeah, he can get it, or I'll give it to him, whichever one he wants.
Yeah, which would you
I'm an equal opportunity hoe. Look.
Wait, one more time. Which would you prefer?
Which would I prefer? Both.
Wow.
Both. Again, I'm an ambidextrous hoe. Like, I can give it and take it.
That's just greedy.
Probably at the same time.
Actually, I already knew all of that. That is the entire chapter 13
of my book. That's right.
All right. And who would you marry?
I would absolutely marry D'Angelo because he looks like he can give me the red light special if I need it. He also looks like he can cook me a nice meal and be romantic. So he's getting the ring on it for sure.
All right. And the chop goes to Austin then.
He got to go. Bye. I heard choke, spit. No, you got to go because them fighting words. I'm going to have to clock somebody. He got to go.
He'd be picking the children up by their necks and snapping them around. Oh, yeah, that's me all day.
We got you, Power. We heard you right out.
That's all you, Power.
We got it. I'm just really, we're a little short on time, but I really quickly, of the three, who is the least popular, do you think, in terms of total millions of views? Of these three at Pornhub, who do you think is the least popular?
Zilf.
Zilf. Yeah. Okay. And who do y'all think is the most popular?
Wolf.
Austin.
Because he throws people around people like that.
Oh, yeah. It's like that rough stuff. I'm going to say Austin.
Interesting. The least popular is around 6 million views. And of course, that's still super, super popular. The least number of views among these three, 6 million. And that's D'Angelo Jackson.
Oh, wow.
I'm
The
not
top
surprised.
view, there's one in the middle of the number I'm getting ready to tell you. And then the top one is approaching 100 million views. And it's Ziv Goodell.
Wow.
Really? I've never heard of him.
Yeah,
Me either.
and the reason is because he is not a studio porn star. He does most of his own production himself, and that's the reason. But very, very well known and seen. All right, well, before we end the show tonight, we introduce one of our main sponsors, and that's Jet's Pizza. If you're coming to South Florida, I'm holding it up here. Hope I don't drop it. You've got to try Jet's Pizza. It's the pizza of choice for the LGBTQ community here in South Florida. We're getting ready to enjoy it, and I always have problems in opening the box, and so right before talking about this, I opened it and realized, wait, the pizza's not even complete.
What happened to the pizza?
They didn't deliver it this way. Who ate the piece of pizza?
I bet you it was Eddie.
Don't look at the fat boy. I didn't do it.
I'm not calling anybody out, but I saw pepperoni in his teeth. That's
No
what I gotta
kidding,
say.
America. I opened the box and part of the pizza was gone, and I find out.
That's how you know it's good. You just have to have a piece.
Okay, all
Those
right.
skinny bitches are hungry.
And that's how you wake up. And what about a piece?
Jared Curry ate it.
Right. All right. Well, that's it, America. Another week with you and the world's first and most popular LGBTQ talk show in the world. Before we sign off, let's hear one final time from our host for one final good night. And let's begin with Power Infiniti.
Good night, children. Didn't you guys have fun? Don't you want to be part of the in crowd? Join us here every single Wednesday at 8 o'clock right here. And it's happening out.
And you good luck with the troops, Power. Good luck with the troops. And good night from Carla Croqueta.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure. It was amazing talking up some very controversial topics with amazing people. Thank you so much for having me.
First time here at It's Happening Out, and it's been a pleasure having you as a host. And good night from Faye What?
Faye What? Make sure you go out to my YouTube page, like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And don't miss out on our new travel show, Happening Out That Travel. And also, I'm on UCTV tomorrow night at 7 p.m. So thank you.
And Chuck, can I tell you, can you put that slide back up one more time? Are you looking amazing in that advertisement for you?
Aw, thank you. Thank you.
Amazing.
And you know, a wonderful drag queen is the one who dressed me and did my makeup and hair. Cece Glitzer. Yeah, she did all of that.
I'm telling you, I don't even recognize that person that's sitting next to me.
What the hell?
All right, and good night from Eddie Marti Kring.
Hey, thank you for having me out. To all of you out there, make sure that you are being kind to yourselves. We have been through a pandemic, a global pandemic. So if you're hearing these words, make sure that you're loving yourself, you're connecting with friends, with the family, and know that you are loved just the way that you are.
And pleasure having you here. And good night. First time also at It's Happening Out as a host. Pride Fort Lauderdale's new Chief Executive Officer, Kevin J. Clevenger.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I am going to go home and take a shower because I feel filthy after this conversation. Bathhouse Betty's to getting choked out. Yeah, I feel filthy.
So congratulations, team. We did it.
Yay!
Good job.
Let's get clean at the car wash.
Exactly.
Yeah, the car wash is Saturday.
This Saturday, the Pride car wash. And a good night from Terry Dyer from SunServe.
Good night. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us this evening. It's a pleasure to be with you tonight, and we'll look forward to seeing you hopefully again soon.
Absolutely. And if what you watch tonight is important to you, we invite you back every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. You sat right here at the kitchen table. We talked about this in production. We're beginning to talk about bringing the host back to the table. It's coming. We're talking about it now. Everyone get vaccinated and wear your mask. But right here at the kitchen table, you got to participate in the conversation right along with us. Remember, we've talked about lots of interesting things tonight. Funny things, serious things, important things. We're defining our LGBTQ community right before your very eyes and ears. That justifies you coming back to us. And remember, if it's important to you, it's happening out. Good night, America.